Lord. Glorify the Lord by His reign. Hallelujah. 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 Praise the Lord.
Someone is coming, said John. Someone greater than I. He baptized you with the Holy Spirit and with fire.
Glorify the Lord. Glorify the Lord. Glorify the Lord in His name. Hallelujah. 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 Praise the Lord. The Lord be with you. Our reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Luke. As the people were in expectation, and all men questioned in their hearts concerning John, whether perhaps he were the Christ, John answered them all, I baptize you with water, but he who is mightier than I is coming, the thong of whose sandals I am not worthy to untie. He will baptize you with the Holy Spirit and with fire. Now when all the people were baptized, and when Jesus also had been baptized and was praying, the heaven was opened, and the Holy Spirit descended upon him in bodily form as a dove, and a voice came from heaven, Thou art my beloved Son, with thee I am well pleased. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Lord, I'm a puny little creature, the dust from the dust. If you are with me, I can be your mighty instrument, Lord. Bless me, Lord, so that I might break your word worthily to your people. Amen. God's blessings to you. Are you all happy? Yes. That's wonderful. Today, baptism of the Lord. It's also a day Pope requests every one of us to remember our own baptism and renew the faith. Yeah, that's the invitation that he gives. Dear friends, Sir Alec Guinness, Star Wars movie actor, and as he grew up, he was introduced to different faith. And at one age, was small, he was trying to make sign of the cross, and that's how an Anglican helped him. So he was so inspired, and he grew out to be an Anglican. At the age of 40, when he was doing some film shooting in France, Chesterton's movie on something on Catholic priest role, Guinness took up, and he was wearing the cassock of a Catholic priest, walking in front of the church, Catholic church in France. As he was walking, a little boy mistook him for a priest. He came, knelt down, kissed his hand, and asked for blessing. He was so touched. There's something in Catholicism. So he started exploring about it. How come the priests imparted faith in this little boy? So he was so inspired. And later on, his son was affected with a very serious sickness. And he went into the church, a Catholic church. He knelt down, started praying with tears. And he made a promise. In case if you heal my son, I'm going to let him grow in Catholic faith. And this miracle happened. He baptized his son in Catholic faith and remains as a witness how baptism can transform lives. Sometimes, when baptism is freely given, we take it for granted and we don't realize the value of it and we don't live baptism. Today is a reminder for all of us to live that baptism. How to live this baptism? From today's reading, we can call out. The first message that we can take home today at the baptism of the Lord, to celebrate the baptism of the Lord, listen. Listen. And I know you all being taught how to listen, how to have a holistic listening, and it's most important to get to know the pain and the depth of the wounds of the person who talks to you. A holistic listening is most important. Listening. And that's how Genesis chapter 3 verses 8 to 10. Adam and Eve, they listened to God. They listened to the voice of God and they are afraid. And they are afraid. Listening to the voice of God can make you aware. Aware of the now, here and now. And that's how today's Eucharistic celebration, we began with the awareness of now. So God's voice makes you to become aware. And that's how Numbers 15 we read, He guides Deuteronomy. God guides Moses to listen to his voice and follow his commands, and that's how they can be taken to the promised land. Listening to the voice of God. And in Isaiah, in the Messianic prophecy, it's beautifully said, and we read in today's first reading as well, listening to God's voice is the preparation to have His Son in our midst. Listening is most important. Most often, we tend to speak, we fail to listen. The moment we begin to listen, we understand the person holistically. What disturbs us not to listen is our prejudgments, preloaded thoughts, feelings, and emotions, accumulated psychotic volcano that is being nurtured deep inside. Letting all of this, becoming aware of now, makes you to listen. That listening makes the other person to understand that you give importance to him or her. Listening is the first and foremost invitation. And that's how people who were around when Jesus got baptized listened to the voice of God, saying, "He is my beloved Son, whom I am well pleased." God keeps speaking, and St. Francis could hear His voice from the crucifix. And that's how he began the journey of building. Listening to God's voice leads you to build, to rebuild. The second message that we can take home is the intention. What makes sacraments most powerful and effective is the intention. Intention with which you receive that voice from God. Friends, your faith has saved you, go home. Your intention gives you healing. So with what intention do I live my baptism? Do I faithfully take in the teachings that baptism teaches, the Catholic Church teaches? A call for intention is most important. And as I begin to preach, I forget the points. The first one, what I said? Listen. Yeah, listen. I'm sorry. And then the second one is intention is most important. The third, the moment you listen and your intention is pure, you speak. Speaking is not only by words. You speak. The whole of your being speaks. Jesus listened to the voice of God with the intention that to continue his mission, he began speaking. And that's how in our baptism, they make the sign of the cross on our lips, on our ears, to listen and to speak. So baptism is an invitation to listen. Baptism is an invitation to speak with whatever the intention you heard him speaking to you. Once you listen, once your intention is pure, the way you begin to speak, the fourth one, you begin to act. And James says, faith without action is dead. Faith without action is dead. Friends, and you begin to act. You reach out to the pain of the other. You get into the shoes of the other. And that's where you are able to heal, whether it is Sabbath or there is a law to heal or not. You reach out. And your action is pure. Because you heard him speak with a pure intention. And you spoke what he wants you to speak. And your action becomes transformation. And that is baptism. So, the first one, listen. Second, intention. Third, and the fourth, Lisa. L-I-S-A. Lisa means God is bountiful. Amen.